over the past couple weeks, we've heard that we have people that are watching from literally Iowa, from Washington State, from Kentucky, from Maryland, from Pennsylvania, from all over the country. And if that's you, we are excited that you are tuning in with us. But listen, if this relationship is gonna work out, there's some things that you need to know about us. We'll start off with a quick geography lesson. The first thing you need to know is that the whole state of New York is basically broken up into three parts. There's Long Island, there's the city, and then there's upstate. So that's what you need to know about that. So if one day you decide you want to come visit us, that would be really cool. But if you want to be able to get around, you're basically going to have to learn a whole nother language. So you're going to have to be able to say things like Copeg, Massapequa, Cutchogue, Nessaquag, Hauppauge, Patchogue, Mattituck, and Ronkonkoma. So you might want to do a little bit of prep work unless you plan on staying in Glen Cove or Deer Park. Now, if you decide you want to drive here or you end up renting a car, at some point you're probably going to get beeped at by one of us. And listen, it's not because we're mad. It's not because we don't like you, it's just that we don't have all day. When you're here, you have to stop at one of the local pizzerias, like a little privately owned, family owned pizzeria. It's some of the best pizza in the whole world. But just so you know, you're gonna wanna order a pie. Now, that's not an apple pie, it's not a blueberry pie, that's a pizza. And if you don't want any toppings on it, you just say regular. You don't say cheese, because that means extra cheese. At some point, we have to talk about the Italians. Now, there are a lot of Italians on Long Island. Then there's also a lot of people that are partially Italian, and there's even another group that's kind of convinced themselves that they're Italian, though they're really not. But that's okay, we just let them think that they are. If you want to order Italian food on Long Island, some of the best food in the world. But what you need to know is that there's basically three ways to pronounce every Italian food. There's the American way, there's the Italian way, as in Italy, and then there's the Long Island way. Now, I didn't want to mess this up, so I brought in a local authority on the issue. This is my friend Sal. Sal grew up on Long Island, he's Italian, and he teaches Italian at a local middle school. Sal, why don't you say hi to everybody?
Good morning, Community Church. Buongiorno a tutti.
He's good. All right, so first let's talk about that white cheese. You know, the cheese that maybe like sprinkle on top of your pizza. Cheese you could also buy in the form of fried sticks, right? If you're in the supermarket and let's say you're in Stop and Shop and you need to find that cheese, and so you want to ask somebody who works there, you see the kid who's wearing the apron, you look at him, he's probably not from around here, definitely not Italian, you know, real fair skin, not much hair gel, and you want to ask him where it is, you'd want to use the American pronunciation. So you would just say, you know, like mozzarella or something like that, okay? Now, Sal, why don't you tell us what the real Italian pronunciation of that word is?
Mozzarella.
But here on Long Island, if you're in like Uncle Giuseppe's and you go to the place where they're making that cheese, they're making it like fresh, you can watch the insurance behind a glass case, you know, like you'd think there were sharks in that tank, right? Nope, just cheese. And they're making it over there, and you want to ask the guy to cut some for you. You have to say it the Long Island way. And in that situation, you would just say mozzarella. It's not really the right way to say it, but that's the way that like our grandmother says it, and so that's just what we go with. All right, last one. Just make sure you're like prepared here, okay? If you're invited to your friend's house and your friend's not originally from Long Island, you know he's got like no connection to like Ellis Island or the Italians or anything like that, right? And his maybe let's say his mom's making some pasta for dinner or some macaroni, and she put that red sauce over it. And she definitely didn't put the red sauce over noodles. Definitely not noodles, like pasta, macaroni, okay? Maybe like penne, not noodles. But she puts it on top of it, and maybe she made like the sauce out of ragu. And you're gonna eat it, and you wanna thank her for the sauce, you would thank her, you'd say it the American way, you'd thank her for the marinara. The marinara. And Sal, how would we say the Italian version of that word?
Marinara.
But now, let's say you're on Long Island, right? You're in an Italian household, and it's Sunday. and someone in that household is getting ready for dinner. That's gonna be a little bit earlier than normal, but they start making it like 11 a.m. You start smelling garlic in the house, right? And there's something on the stove. It's because somebody's making a sauce or a gravy. We would call that marinade. Yeah, it's not even close. So that's just about all you need to know about Long Island. If you're one of the Long Islanders and I've insulted you or your ancestors, I apologize. We're all a little bit different here, but I did the best that I could. Oh, actually, one more thing. If you're gonna come and visit Long Island and you're in the car with some people from Long Island, you're listening to the radio, and all of a sudden you hear a song by Billy Joel, just turn it up. And if you don't like it, just pretend that you do.